Hello, Christina's World Kitchen. I'm Christina Martinez Williams. I am going to make my Latin American inspired chicken with zucchini and green beans. We have a lot of zucchinis and I need to use them. So this is the recipe that Zariah chose that we're going to use today. And the girls and my husband have said, please make more chicken. So they have requested more protein. I think we have probably close to 3 pounds of chicken today. It's not being enough for for the growing girls, plus my husband and I, to have just like 1.5 or 2 pounds. So I am upping our protein, which is amazing, high protein, low carb. Tell me what where you live. I would love to say hi. And I am going to add to my 3 pounds of chicken 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. And then I am going to add, this is olive oil, but I don't have any avocado oil, but my recipe is avocado oil. You really can use any oil. You can use coconut oil, not any oil. Woo! Coconut oil, avocado oil, or olive oil. And I'm going to mix this with my chicken. And I'm going to do my spices in 2 parts. So I'm going to make all my chicken with half of my spices, and then I'm going to add all the veggies and get the chicken like going and almost done so that it can be cooked well. And then I'm going to add the rest of the spices, the other half. So I'm going to do 2 halves. If you're doing like 1.5 pounds of chicken, then you're going to do, I'm going to keep the same amount of veggies, but you're going to then do just half of the spices. So if you're doing all 3 pounds of chicken, keep the same amount of spices as I'm doing, half and half. All right. Now I'm going to let this start cooking and I'm going to start adding my spices. So tell me where you live. I would love to say hi to you. I went on a walk this morning. I taught a couple of swim lessons and was at the pool with the girls. And then I'm going to go walk again in less than an hour. What are you doing to move your body today? We are on day 4 of the belly burn of the ultimate summer reset, the better reset for July. If you're doing it with me, put doing it. And if this is a great dish for this, because it is just healthy fat and veggies and low carb veggies and protein, a lot of protein. So we're going to get started with half of a teaspoon of each of these. I will tell you when I don't do half anymore. So half a teaspoon of coriander powder, half a teaspoon of coriander powder. So these are Latin American inspired spices. They don't really match any one country necessarily, but they're common in a lot of them. Now, did you know that Europe has 27 countries, Latin America has 27 countries, and I didn't know that. I did know that. I didn't know that Europe had 27. I knew that Latin America had 27, but I didn't know they had the same quantity. This is paprika, half a teaspoon of paprika. Now we're going to do half a teaspoon of black pepper. And if this is something that so far, or once you see what it all includes, you might want to try, put try in the comments. I would love to know. We are actually talking about going to Latin America for our World School trip in September. Now this is a teaspoon of each of these spices. So now we have ground cumin, we have garlic powder. This is absolutely love one pot dishes because they're so simple. They're easy to do. You only have to do it in one place and then you eat it all in one place. And I actually used to be a kid who didn't like my food to touch. And now my food touches all the time. I would love to know, what about you? Were you a kid? Put no touch in the comments if you were a kid who was like me and you didn't want your food to touch. Like different food groups, I didn't want them to touch at all. And if they did, I had an issue. Now I'm the opposite of that. Chili powder now, a teaspoon of chili powder. I'm trying to get it kind of evenly around. I am gonna obviously mix it. A teaspoon of chili powder and a teaspoon of pink salt. Teaspoon of pink salt. And then we're going to repeat these spices when we add our zucchini and our green bell pepper. If you are only doing 1.5 pounds of chicken, then you're going to do half of those spices with the chicken, and then the other half, so like 1/4 and 1/2 instead of 1/2 and a teaspoon. I'm gonna get these all mixed. These spices. I'm using 2 sets of tongs. I always use 2 utensils to stir things in the big pot whenever I do big pot meals because, I don't know, it just is easier to me. I don't understand how to mix things without having 2, 1 in each hand. If you're a 2-spoon person, put 2 spoons. If you're a 1-person spoon, 1-person mix, 1-spoon mixer, put 1. My husband is a 1. I'm definitely a 2, always. I very rarely will do anything with 1 spatula or spoon or whatever it is. Unless it's like oatmeal. Like my keto oatmeal, my low carb, high protein oatmeal. All right. This is gonna cook. While this is cooking is a great time for you to cut your veggies because, I didn't think about that when I made this, but I already have them ready to go. But this would be a great time for you to cut your veggies while the chicken is cooking so that you maximize your use of time. I know that for me, I'm like living everything up to the minute, to the last moment to do everything, which sometimes gets me in trouble, but I also just like to maximize, like seize the day, maximize my life. And this is one way that I do it is by like finding ways to cut out time on things. So I already have cut my it's not a cucumber, my bell pepper, my green bell pepper. I also cut 3 zucchinis into like triangles or cubes. This was the tiny part of the zucchini. Here's triangles. Triangles with circle edges. I cut 3. My recipe is 3.5 cups, but this is definitely like more like 5. And I just decided I needed to use those zucchinis. So no problem to have a few more zucchini, a little bit, especially with 3 pounds of chicken. So you can either do it based on like, they were like 3 medium-sized zucchinis. One was on the smaller side and one was on the medium side. The other 2 were medium. And that yielded that much. All right, so all I need to do is this just needs to cook a little bit more before I add my veggies because I want to be sure over time that my chicken cooks. So I might just move some of the chicken that looks like it's not cooking as much over a little bit. This pan is like a 20-inch, 18 or 20-inch. So if you do not have a huge wide pan, I also use a lot my paella pan, but if you don't have something huge, then you'll probably need something deeper because you won't have room for everything. And then it will be really important that it's still important this way, but that you cook the chicken a little bit more before you add the veggies. So this is one of my favorite. I use this pot the most, like this pan, the most out of everything. I used to use my paella pan the most, and now I use this one the most. Not really any reason. My paella one is still really good. This is just a little bit newer. All right. Tell me how you moved your body today. Tell me hi in the comments. Where do you live? And if you like Latin American flavors, tell me Latin American in the comments. If you're not sure, tell me not sure. These are Latin American inspired flavors. So I'm going to go ahead and add my veggies, and then I'm just going to be really mindful of my chicken and stir every once in a while it's cooking and sauteing, because I want to make sure that the chicken gets all the way cooked. So I'm going to add my one bell pepper, my one green bell pepper in all areas. And then I'm going to add my 3 zucchinis. And then I'm going to add my spices again after I mix these with my chicken. So I want to mix these around. I think I don't like having 2 tongs. I think I like having 1 tong and 1 big spoon. I feel less in control with 2 tongs. All right, we are almost there to adding the spices again. If you like one pot meals, put one pot in the comments. Make sure to share, like, heart, save this video, because it'll be easier for you to find it in the future when you're ready to make it. And the whole world can know that they can do this too, and they can eat high protein, low carb, and that it can be amazing flavor, and they can have deliciousness, but also still be high protein, low carb. All right, let me move these to the side and add these last spices. So now we're gonna just repeat everything. So it's a half a teaspoon of coriander powder, half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of paprika. Half a teaspoon of black pepper. And now it's a full teaspoon of cumin, ground cumin. A full teaspoon. A full teaspoon of garlic powder. And then a full teaspoon of chili powder. And a full teaspoon of pink salt. Kylea's birthday is in only 3 days.
Actually 2, because you don't count today.
That's true. Oh my gosh, it's only in 3 days, and she's
2 days.
2 days, and she's going to be 11. I cannot even believe it. Crazy.
Whoa.
All right, now we are mixing it all together again. All these spices in here, and there's plenty of liquid from the chicken, from the zucchini, from the olive oil or avocado oil or coconut oil. My original recipe is with avocado oil. And then this is a great dish that you can serve with some slices of avocado on the side. That's really, really delicious. To eat it with some slices of avocado on the side. You don't have to, but it's delicious like that too. And now all we are doing is sauteing this until all the chicken is done and the veggies are the consistency that you would like them to be.
Oh, my legs.
So I just want to make sure that all of the spices are like connecting and not just sitting on one of the pieces or on one of the zucchinis. And then I'm going to be stirring it every so often, but I think it'll be like 15 minutes of cooking it, sauteing it like this, with occasional mixing it up. That is it. That's the recipe. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy this one pot dish. Let me know if you try it. And from my house to your kitchen, global flavors and healthy plates from around the world. Have a wonderful night. Bye.